Welcome everyone to Hack Academy Active Directory Chain. So this would be absolutely amazing practice for you if you're going for the OSCP, because it will very realistically simulate an OSCP exam when it comes to the Active Directory department, right? So I definitely recommend getting in that practice. If you're also following along with the checklist, this entire chain, this series of episodes will cover so many aspects within the Active Directory chain and the Windows Privilege escalation chain, so or the section in the docs. So I definitely recommend you updating that as you go as well and as you learn. But yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this series and I really hope you enjoyed this video. And I want you to absolutely crush the OSCP. So please enjoy the video and keep learning. But I will just continue as I would normally. So one thing that I like to do is just to make a password list essentially as I collect things. So just call it pass. Just in case, just reuse credentials like so. And then what we can do now with netexec is that we can take the IP list that we made earlier, like so. And then we can spray this across the network. Let's see. So this is going to be the users list, not Kerberos. No, sorry, right. The user list and then the password list, which is called pass, like so. And you can also use continue on success, just in case there's something that is valid. You want it to continue to see if there's more valid as well. So let's just run this. And we can see that the lfoster is a valid set of credentials. And the same thing with ADS, right? But it does not say pond. So we will definitely not get shell. So yeah, so you can see that it works on DC, client 2, and also client 1, right? Because these are the main users and it's valid credentials. Let's check with other protocols as well. VNRM. The cleaner way to do this would be to take a closer look at the actual nmap scan, right? So let's do that. So on the client, this is one of the two clients, we can see that we have RPC open, SMB open, we have RDP open as well, and also VNRM, okay? So these are definitely interesting protocols for authentication. These we can pretty much ignore to default. Same thing here. But yeah, so we have VNRM and also RDP on both clients. And on the domain controller, we have DNS, Kerberos, SMP, we have LDAP, VNRM as well, but we do not have RDP rights. There's no 3389. So yeah. Also another thing, this output is not the prettiest. So if you want to, you could pipe this into something like fgrep and then look for anything with like this. It's not the prettiest, but it might make it a bit easier to see at least. But yeah, this is definitely not the prettiest output at all. So then I'm just cancel that. And then also let's check against RDP as well, right? And ignore this. Just want to move kind of fast and not manually scroll through everything. So we can see that these credentials are actually triggers. So let's see. So the starting credentials is lfoster, and that actually works on the client too. ADS is the one that we got after we did ASTRP roasting, so I'm going to start there. But this is awesome. So we have two pieces of credentials that essentially worked. So I'm going to start with ADS, and if we're not able to make progress, then I'm going to pivot back and use test with lfoster, right? So my preferred tool when it comes to accessing RDP is called X-ray RDP, like so. So let's see, the IP right here is this. So ADS, and then Peru 1 to 3 like so. Don't need to strive right here. Let's try that. And there we go. Instantly worked, right? So my goal here is of course going to be some type of previsk. Okay? And we should also definitely mark ADS as well as owned. So we remember from earlier that he does not have any desync rights or Kerberos or ASIC roasting, and also he does not have any Altman object control. So ADS is not too interesting in terms of Bloodhound. But we do have shell access rights, and that is more than interesting enough. So let's see what type of groups he is accessed, part of. So we can see remote desktop users, right, of course. Remote interactive, logon interactive, authenticated users. None of this is interesting. SC shutdown privilege could be interesting, right? So we could essentially shut down a machine. Can be useful for some privisk where you have to restart the service. But yeah, nothing directly interesting. So let me check with power up. This one is more recent, but sometimes it can give some false positives, so it can be nice to check with both. I guess I can show you this one. So yeah, it shows you all of these edge updates, but I know that these are false positive. Because you do not, for instance, have generic rights over modifiable file, right? You cannot essentially have write permissions to this. So let's see. Get tackle. So of course administrators can, system can, but users can only read and execute and synchronize, right? Completely useless. We have no right to it. We can also, of course, like test echoing something into it, and it's not going to work. It's going to be access denied. So you can test both, right? This one is typically going to give cleaner output, but it's not a bad idea to use both, and it's not a bad idea to have other tools, right? That we have, like for instance, like JAWS or Privacy Check. Privacy Check can be quite nice as well, although it can take a long time if you get completely stuck with like power up and WIMPs and manual checks. But you know, this is the privacy that we are interested in seeing. So if you see always install elevated, it's pretty much an extremely easy privacy. So we are currently on client 2. Now, if you enjoy how I teach and you enjoy this video and you want to take the OSCP, then what are you doing not being in this course? It's over 15 hours long, and it covers everything that you need. If you're only watching the videos on YouTube, you're missing out a lot, because it's over 15 hours of content. You will get access to the VIP section on Discord, where you can ask me any questions and you can study alongside all the other students in our course. Right now, you will also get access to this checklist right here, which will cover at least 95% plus of all the attacks and all the techniques that you need to know for every single section. Not only initial access, but AD, pivoting, Linux, and Windows privilege escalation. And the goal for you is to reach proficient or at least basic competence on all of them. That's one of the things. We also have this entire roadmap right here, where there's a bunch of action steps and a bunch of cheat sheets inside all of these hyperlinks that I can't show you in this video. But once you have completed all of them, you know for a fact that you will be ready to get into the OSCP exams and absolutely crush it. If that sounds interesting to you, to get all of this in 15 hour plus of video footage of someone who has OSCP, who explains different attacks and techniques and methodologies, it's going to be invaluable to you. Now, some people are confused with the offer. If you're interested in the notes, these are the notes that you will constantly see me use in the videos, right? They're pretty much recommended to go hand in hand with the course, and I use them constantly in the course itself, right? So I think you'll find it extremely useful. That's also why we have the third offer, which is the bundle, where you can buy both of these together for a discount. I hope that clarifies things. Best of luck on your OSCP journey. I really hope this will be massively useful to you. I'll see you in the next video.